Hi, I'm Joel, and today I want to talk to you about the silent war. I call it a silent war because our government hasn't actually declared that we are in a war. There's war, there's civil war, but this is a silent war that those on the far left in power know exactly what they're doing. But here's the good news: those of us who are awake also identify what they're doing. Let's go. Okay, so here we go. As we are diving in here, we have where Tim Kaine and Loretta Lynch called for a blood and death in the streets engagement by the people that are on the far left. As we see this here reported by InfoWars, we can see that this failed vice president candidate Kaine is pretty upset about what's going on, as all of the Democrats seem to be, because they're not getting their way, which is to bring in and usher in the new world order. They are being controlled by the spirit of this world, Satan himself, to bring a one world government into play. And so these are the things now that we are seeing. Now, let's look at this right here. I want to show you this. It says, when protesters began harassing people that were gathered at the Minnesota State Capitol, the rally participants attempted to block the entrance, and the protesters, after they blocked the entrance, they tried to force their way down the stairs using smoke bombs, mace, and fireworks, and causing a need for some of the rally participants to be treated by paramedics. I mean, look at that. Here is something else that happened, is that Lynch also used similarly incendiary language in a bizarre 1-minute video in which seemed to call upon fellow progressives to march, bleed, and die in the streets, also in resistance to the Trump agenda. Get that? Look, die in the streets. Now, this is the type of attitude, this is the type of, I guess, temper tantrum that we see is being conducted by the people that say that they are the ones that want free speech and equality for everyone, but they're going to continue to try to shut down anybody that disagrees with them exercising free speech. This is ridiculous. So now we see this Trump-like Julius Ceasar that is assassinated in the New York play as they were doing Shakespeare in the Park. Now, this caused Delta and Bank of America to pull funding from them because it wasn't funny. I mean, they called it art. You should see there is the producer or whoever wrote the play, or whoever produced the play was giving his take on how they were helping the world by doing this play. I'm thinking, really? Come on, you got a graphic illustration of our president. I mean, what are the other nations looking at and thinking that America has no absolute idea of what honor really looks like? I don't know. Just a thought. Just a thought. Let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at it. Trump like Julius Ceasar. Look at they're stabbing him, they're beating him. I mean, he had a good push there from that lady. He kicked somebody. That's pretty good. But look at, she got up, she gives a stab in there. So the Delta and Bank of America have pulled their money, as they should, because this is ridiculous what is happening here. This type of mutiny, this type of rebellion to something that is civil. I mean, you can have your own opinion, you can have your own thoughts, you can disagree, but to incite riots and violence is not the answer. This is different than the Civil War that we had. This, my friends, is a silent war, because our government hasn't declared war, but the extreme left, they have declared war. No doubt about it. So as we continue to look here at what is going on, and if we keep our eyes closed, we are in trouble. It says, even a cursory reading of the play, the kind that many American teenagers give it in high school, does not advocate assassination. I mean, come on. What is it with our arts and entertainment that is linked up with our media that is causing this type of hatred to come forward? Because it's a plan. It is a plan. We see where media, who propaganda machine to get the message out, to have mind control over the people, so that the people do think that this is what the majority think, when it is a minority of idiots that think that if they can't get their way, we're going to turn to violence. And we're going to use the people who have influence, which are our entertainers. We're going to use them. Maybe because they think that they're stupid or something. I don't know what it is, other than the spirit of this world, who is not creative, because he is not the creator, going into those who have the ability to create. Well, so here we go here. Now we have Kathy Griffin. Oh my God. Kathy Griffin. Watch this. She says, I went too far. I'm getting ready to show you. She says, I went too far. Then she's apologizing for posting a video of Trump's severed head on social media. And she is now being investigated for threatening the president. Yes, you should. But she only apologized after the Secret Service suggests that she would be investigated. And now she said, oh, I took it too far. Let's take a look at it. Look at, this is the president's head cut off, beheaded like something ISIS has done.
I'm shooting with Tyler Shields, who is wildly talented. This is fake blood, just so you know.
We don't know.
But Tyler and I are not afraid to do images that make no sense.
We're not afraid.
So he often lights me to the point where I look about 15.
She's not afraid.
First, I'm an artist.
Mm-hmm.
But really, it's good lighting.
Right. She is first an artist, and that gives you an excuse to be an idiot, to not use your head, to promote things that if our children grow up watching, they won't know the difference between wrong and right, between what is art and what is life, what is an imitation and what is real. So I'm an artist, so I can do that. I don't have a responsibility. So watch here as she takes the head here, which is dripping with fake blood, by the way. Let her tell it, right? Of course we know that. Or do we? What if it's somebody else's blood that they go and drink the blood of and all that crazy stuff that's going on right now? Anyway. Here we go. Watch this as she now begins to drop the head like she is dropping the mic or something. Now let's take a look at this brave artist here who's not afraid to push the envelope a little bit.
Hey everybody, it's me, Kathy Griffin. I sincerely apologize. I am just now seeing the reaction of these images. I'm a comic. I crossed the line. I moved the line, then I cross it. I went way too far. The image is too disturbing. I understand how it offends people. It wasn't funny. I get it. I've made a lot of mistakes in my career. I will continue. I asked your forgiveness, taking down the image, going to ask the photographer to take down the image, and I begged for your forgiveness. I went too far. I made a mistake, and I was wrong.
Now let's look at this lady in this interview, the Kathy Griffin that was just apologizing and sorry. Take a look at this.
I'm not afraid of Donald Trump. He's a bully. I've dealt with older white guys trying to keep me down my whole life, my whole career. I'm a woman in a very male-dominated field. I love what I do. I love making people laugh more than anything in the world. And I have learned over the years that sometimes when you do stand-up, and I've done it in a war zone, and I've done it at Walter Reed Hospital, and I've done it at Carnegie Hall, sometimes people want, a joke that's out there and a little crazy. Regarding the image that I participated in, that apology absolutely stands.
Now, the apology absolutely stands, but
I feel horrible. I have performed in war zones. The idea that this, made people think of this tragedy, to have been touched by this tragedy, is horrifying and it's horrible.
Okay, so the fact that she was holding up a bloody head, symbolic of the president, and something that we see ISIS do, like cut somebody's head off, hold it up, she didn't think that that would make people disturbed. How not? Come on. Come on. Don't believe it.
Trust me, if I could redo the whole thing, I would have had a blow-up doll and no ketchup.
Yeah, if she could redo the whole thing, because she didn't know that what she was getting ready to say was going to happen to her. But listen, just pay attention to what happens here.
I make mistakes. I'm an out there comedian. I'm an in-your-face comedian. What's happening to me has never happened, ever, in the history of this great country, which is that a sitting president of the United States and his grown children and the First Lady are I feel personally, trying to ruin my life forever.
Okay, so this has never happened before because we don't have a president that is just going to sit back and play politics with people today. That's not the type of president that we have. And his children should be going after you. If somebody held up a head that looked like mine, I would think that if my children seen it, that they wouldn't go hide in a corner somewhere, that they would go to war for their father. And so now she can't take what she just dished out. Now, I've always heard it this way, that if you live in a glass house, do not throw rocks.
Forever. You guys know him. He's never going to stop. The death threats that I'm getting are constant, and they are detailed, and they are serious, and they are specific. And today it's me, and tomorrow it could be you.
Oh, so now it's Trump's fault that your dumb behind did that. That you held up something that looked like his head being cut off with blood on it. he was beheaded by you, Miss Tough Lady. Now you're getting death threats. What if they're comedians who are pushing it over the line just a little bit? Little lady, what if that's the case? Oh, now it's Trump's fault, and because you're getting death threats, because you did something stupid, now you're going to try to spin it because why? The people on the left, they said, hey, we appreciate that you're helping us out. Now you're caught in this predicament. Here's how you can spin it.
I believe so passionately about this. If I don't stand up and say this, I'm afraid there's going to be some 12-year-old nerdy girl like me in Forest Park, Illinois, who's going to maybe be watching me to see what I do. And this bully and this president, of all people, is going to come after me? He picked the wrong redhead. I've made fun of W. I made fun of Clinton. Oh, God, remember the Monica dress days? Those were the days. You could make dress jokes all day long, and nobody tried to kill you. You shouldn't have to die for this. I'm under a Secret Service investigation.
And the first family did not come after you with any of the other presidents. You know, it is
Yes.
so unpresidential.
Excuse me, Barbie doll. Did any of the other people for the other presidents hold his head up, a mockery of the president's, an image of the president's head up like it was beheaded? Did they go that far? I don't know, but I don't think so.
I get what I am. I'm the shiny object. I get it. We all know what's going on here. They're using me as the shiny object so that nobody's talking about his FBI investigation. All right, I get it. I'm 56 years old. I'm 110 pounds wet. I've had everybody turn on me, and I just want to make people laugh. That's all I want to do. I'm not laying down for this guy. I'm going to make fun of him. I'm going to make jokes about him and the housewives and Kardashians. But, you know, he does provide a lot of material. I mean, you got to be honest. It's a good time to be a comedian. It's scary to be a citizen, but it's a good time to be a comedian.
Oh,
I'm not afraid of Donald Trump.
It's a scary time to be a citizen. It's scary to be a citizen because you can't just put a I don't even want to go there anymore. It's like, come on, people. What are you guys doing here? We understand what you're doing. So now that you're getting death threats because something you did, which is coming probably from people who don't want to play that mess, now you're like, oh, this is terrible. But let's keep going here, because we see that we've got things like this now taking place because it's only jokes, right? It's only jokes. But what about James T. Hodgkinson that went out and actually took the gun and shot somebody? It wasn't rubber bullets, wasn't fake bullets. It wasn't none of that stuff that the left wants us to think is okay to do. But when somebody actually goes out and they take it to the streets and they fight in the streets and they shoot in the streets and people die, now again, I bet you it is the right wing's fault. Why? Because they don't want to not have guns. Well, this stupid person here would have done what he would have done, and if we didn't have guns, then everybody would have been shot. I don't think they know that if you make it to where people can't have guns, the criminals still will have guns. Or maybe it'll be just like they want it to where only the military have guns now, and they can enforce martial law, one world government, and you guys can take over. Look at this guy here has been arrested before, misdemeanor charges, and now he's out just shooting folks. This guy, 66-year-old James Hodgkinson, he's out there, unfortunately, without any scruples, thinking he's doing a favor for the public, to go out and shoot people because he's been watching our comedians and he's been watching our senators say take the fight to the streets. So that's what he goes and does. Another person with a criminal record going out and exercising what they think is supposed to happen. So this is why it is the leftists that are going out there and taking their media-inspired terror to attack the freedom that we live in as of now. This is Hit Media. Remember that some start the problem, some state the problem, and then there are those who stop the problem. Go out and be the solution.